Have you ever looked back on your career and realized your biggest growth didn't come from easy jobs, but from the one that almost broke you? As usual, let's kick things off with a quiz, straight from the book of 100 Things You Need to Know, Best People Practices for Managers in HR by Robert Etchinger, Michael Lombardo, and Dave Ulrich. If you're in management and HR, this book belongs on your shelf. Here's today's quiz. What kind of jobs matter most for long-term development? A. Jobs requiring stark transitions and first-time experiences. B. Functional switches, moving from one function to another. C. Multiple rotational assignments in early career. D. Product line or business unit switches. Or E. Being promoted to your boss's job. The correct answer is A. Jobs requiring stark transitions and first-time experiences. And how confident are the researchers in this finding? They rate it as solid, meaning the evidence is extensive, widely agreed upon, and the findings are not likely to change in our lifetime. Stark transitions and first-time experiences is what the authors describe as living in what they call the land of firsts. First jobs with unfamiliar responsibilities, first time leading a team way outside your comfort zone, first time being handed a broken situation and told to fix it, with real stakes and real consequences. These are the forge, or the crucible. The authors say, development is a demand pull. The demands of the job pull the person to develop new skills and not rely on just successful habits of the past. Think about that. You can't develop new capabilities by doing the same thing you've always done. That's kind of the definition of not developing. Growth requires demand, and it requires a situation where your old playbook isn't enough. Research consistently shows two factors that supercharge development. First, challenging situations with real problems to solve, where the stakes are high enough that you can't coast. Second, a supportive environment. Leaders who coach, mentors who counsel, and role models worth watching. Pull both levers, you get transformation. Pull only one, you get stress without growth, or comfort without progress. Amazon is known for practicing what's called single-threaded leadership. One person owns a critical new initiative end-to-end with no blueprint, no precedent, and no hand-holding. It's uncomfortable by design, and it's produced some of their most successful products, including Amazon Web Services. Google has long used what insiders call stretch projects, assigning high-potential employees to initiatives that are genuinely beyond their current skill level. Sheryl Sandberg, before she left to work at Facebook, was handed a challenge at monetizing Google's ad business from scratch. No one had ever done it before. There was no manual. She figured it out, and the rest is history. Schneider Electric launched an open talent market where employees can sign up for short-term, cross-functional projects and mentorship, deliberately creating the first-time experiences across a 135,000-person workforce. The result? Better retention, a broader internal talent pipeline, and leaders who've already proven they can handle the unfamiliar. Johnson & Johnson built the rotational R&D leadership development program around this very principle, giving early career engineers a series of demanding first-time assignments spanning design, manufacturing, and commercialization. They're not just teaching technical skills, they're building leaders. And here's a stat that should make every HR director pause. According to a 2022 Pew Research study, 63% of employees who left their jobs cited a lack of advancement opportunities as the reason. Not salary, not benefits, advancement. In other words, they left because no one gave them a crucible. Researchers W.G. Bennis and R.J. Thomas studied two completely different generations. They called them the geeks, ages 21 through 34, and the geezers, ages 70 through 82. Different values, different heroes, different everything. But they found one thing every great leader had in common. They had all undergone at least one intense transformational experience, what the researchers called a crucible. That one trial by fire moment that forged them. You see this across history and business. Howard Schultz, former CEO of Starbucks, came from a coffee equipment company and then built a multi-billion-dollar coffee empire from scratch, with no model to follow and plenty of skeptics along the way. Indra Nooyi, as CEO of PepsiCo, was given cross-functional leadership responsibilities spanning strategy, marketing, and finance across different countries and business domains. Abraham Lincoln, yes, we're talking about Abraham Lincoln, faced defeat after political defeat before leading the nation through its most defining crisis. Those losses didn't disqualify him. They were his crucible. None of these paths were smooth, and that was the point. In 2024, over 70% of companies increased their leadership development budgets. They're spending more than ever, but here's the catch. 77% of organizations still say they lack sufficient leadership depth across all levels. And trust in managers has fallen from 46% to 29% in just 3 years. We're spending more and getting less. That's because most development programs are built around training rooms and workshops, not stretch assignments and first-time experiences. Research published by the MIT Sloan School of Management found that 67% of employees want to advance, but 49% say they've received poor career guidance. Too often, managers ask employees to chart their own paths under the guise of empowerment and then wonder why people leave. The DDI 2025 Global Leadership Forecast confirms the urgency. 4 in 10 leaders say they're considering leaving their roles, not because they're bored, but because they're burned out and under-supported in meaningful growth. Meanwhile, the data in doing it right is compelling. Organizations that invest in deliberate, on-the-job development see a return of approximately $7 for every $1 invested. External hires, by contrast, are 61% more likely to fail within 18 months compared to internally developed leaders. Compelling indeed. The research is unambiguous. Develop from within, with real challenges, or pay the price. So what do you actually do with all of this? H.S. Richardson's research puts it plainly. Every stage of development requires a new set of skills. And the way to get those skills is through demanding jobs, not just promotions. M.W. McCall's research on executives found that diversity of experience across different problem-solving domains matters far more than the number of promotions someone receives. G. Ukel's work adds the crucial ingredient, that developmental experiences work best when they're paired with coaching and mentoring from leaders and peers. So if you're a manager or HR professional, here's your action list. 1. Map your high-potential employees to first-time experiences, not just to lateral moves or predictable promotions. 2. Create psychological safety. People need to know that stumbling is part of the process, not evidence of failure. Henry Ford said it well, the only real mistake is the one from which we learn nothing. 3. Pair every stretch assignment with a coach, mentor, or at a minimum, consistent feedback. 4. Start early. The earlier in a career you can introduce first-time high-challenging experiences, the better, for both skill development and organizational loyalty. The research is clear. The land of firsts is where leaders are made. Whether you're the one handing out the assignments or the one receiving them, lean into the hard thing. Embrace the unfamiliar project. Say yes to the role that feels a little too big. That's your crucible. And it's not something to fear. It's something to be grateful for. Hit subscribe if this resonated with you, and I'd love to hear your story. Drop a comment below and share your own Land of Firsts moment.
John Paul here. If you like this video, check out the HR Insight YouTube channel where we have more videos just like this. Make sure to click subscribe so you get notifications.